the angel said, placing a warm hand on Ifedayo's cheek. You have been chosen to finally break this cycle of suffering and reclaim your family's purity. On the 18th day of the second month, a beautiful damsel was born into the family of Koledo. The baby was welcomed with so much joy and celebration, especially considering the fact that they had waited for 5 good years before God eventually blessed them with their new bundle of joy. They named their bundle of joy Ifedayo. Koledo is a big merchant in the village of Malomo. He came from a very wealthy family and therefore lacked nothing. As Ifedayo grew from a baby into a little girl, everyone thought she was the most beautiful girl they had ever seen. She had pretty brown skin and lovely lips. On her 5th birthday, she was dressed in a very beautiful and colorful princess dress. Most of the villagers, all her father's business partners, and his faithful customers from neighboring villages came with lots of gifts for the damsel. She was showered with plenty of affection. Her parents are good people and everyone loved to relate with them. So it is safe to say that she was enjoying her parents' goodwill. However, as Ifedayo grew older, something strange started happening to her face and body. Weird markings and grooves began appearing on her skin. At first, they were just odd imperfections that made people stare and whisper. But over the next few years, the strange lines and grooves only got deeper and spread more across her face and body. No creams or medicines could stop them from getting worse. The once gorgeous damsel became disfigured and scarred. Many people in the village began mocking her cruelly, calling her names despite her parents' efforts to make them stop. Some people whispered that her father had used her for money and a curse had been laid on her. No one wants to go near her or have anything to do with her family anymore. Her father's business started going down. She became very sad and almost depressed. No matter how much love her parents showered her, it did not matter anymore. She became very ashamed because of the constant taunts. She hid away in her bedroom and hardly go out of her father's compound so as to avoid the terrible insults from the villagers. On her 16th birthday, her father decided this cruelty had gone on too long. He could no longer stand to see his daughter's spirit dimmed by the mean villagers. Together with his wife, they decided that Ifedayo should go and start living with her maternal grandma in another village. They believed going to a new village where no one really knew her history will help her heal, and that hopefully the people there will be more friendly and accommodating. The following day, she and her mother embarked on the journey to her grandmother's place. Ifedayo was saddened to leave her home and village, but she knew the journey was her only hope for peace of mind. She hugged her father tight and took one last look at the village before departing with her mom. She sat beside her mother in the back of the taxi with a backpack that contains all her essentials. "Don't worry, my pumpkin, you'll love it over there," her mother said, squeezing Ifedayo's hand. "Staying with Nanny in her village will be a wonderful beginning for you." Nanny was Ifedayo's maternal grandmother, a deeply wise woman who had found peace and purpose as a professional weaver in a rural community. Ifedayo's mom hoped her daughter could find some solace and acceptance there that his father's village could not provide. After an overnight train journey, they finally arrived at the lush, secluded village where Nanny lived. Ifedayo immediately felt a warm, welcoming energy she had never experienced back home. As they embraced, tears of joy streamed down the elderly woman's face. "Oh, my precious almond blossom," Nanny whispered, cupping Ifedayo's cheek tenderly. "In this place, we do not judge one's worth by outer appearances." True to her words, The villagers greeted Ifedayo with smiles and respect, not horrified stares or cruel taunts. She felt herself relaxing amidst the beauty and sense of community her new home provided. Over the following weeks, Ifedayo spent her days at Nani's side, learning the art of handloom weaving. As her grandmother was weaving a cloth one day, she said to Ifedayo, "Within this sacred cloth, each imperfection only enhances its unique beauty, just as every soul bears its own special inner light and mere physical forms cannot diminish." With her grandmother's gentle guidance, Ifedayo gradually shed the shame, anger and hurt that had weighed her down for so long. Her own creative talent began to blossom as her loom patterns grew increasingly intricate and vibrant. Before long, Ifedayo's original weaved garments and accessories were in high demand across the region. Buyers always marveled at the distinctive designs she created. In her grandmother's village, she experienced an awakening. Her predicament was no longer something to be ashamed of, but a catalyst for her to finally embody the inner radiance and purpose she had been denied. For the first time in her life, Ifedayo was thriving, not just existing. The once mocked and persecuted girl had blossomed into a confident, honored artisan, and her inspiring journey of self-love and discovery had only just begun. For 2 years, Ifedayo stayed with her maternal grandmother, Nani, in the peaceful village. Though she was still marked by her strange condition, Ifedayo felt accepted and happy living among the kind people there. Every day, Nani would teach Ifedayo about the spiritual power of prayer. The elderly woman did not know the Bible very well, but she used the little she knew to give Ifedayo hope. "Keep praying, my child," Nani would say gently. "Have faith in God's healing grace. If you remain pure of heart and spirit, a miracle can still happen for you." Ifedayo took her grandmother's words to heart. She prayed fervently every night before bed, asking God for strength, guidance, and courage to withstand her difficulties with grace. One night, after an especially fervent prayer session, Ifedayo had a vivid and wondrous dream. An angel appeared before her, radiant and beautiful. The angel beckoned her to accompany him on a walk. As they strolled together, the angel spoke in a melodic voice. "Your outward markings are a manifestation of a past wrong by your ancestors crying for vengeance." Ifedayo's heart raced as the angel continued. "In their greed for earthly riches and power, your paternal great-grandfather took the life of an innocent young girl. The girl was the only child of her parents. The sorrow of losing their only child was what led to their untimely death. Since then, that blood has stained your family's lineage. That is why people in your lineage will always struggle before they can have a child. And if they ever have a child, they will never have more than one child." Although her mind could scarcely comprehend it, Ifedayo felt an overwhelming truth in the angel's words. The strange conditions she battled was merely the latest anguish to ripple from that ancient crime. "But take heart, dear one," the angel said, placing a warm hand on Ifedayo's cheek. "You have been chosen to finally break this cycle of suffering and reclaim your family's purity." The angel then described a particular woman to her in a particular village. Ifedayo and her parents had to go and look for the woman and make restitution. The woman happens to be a family of the wronged couple. Once they locate this woman, they are to beg and wait for her to pray for them. Only then can the curse be lifted forever, giving way for divine healing and renewal. As the dream faded, Ifedayo awoke in a shimmering morning light. She ran into her grandmother's room and narrated all that she saw in her dream. Together, they praised and thanked God for clarity and solution. Immediately, Nani sent for Ifedayo's parents. They came and were told all that Ifedayo saw in her dream. They were also filled with so much joy and gratitude to the Lord. They looked for the woman as they were instructed. After 3 days and nights of traveling, they finally found the woman. With trepidation, Ifedayo's family approached her home and explained why they had come, to atone for their ancestors' unforgivable crime generations ago. At first, the woman reacted with bitter anger and deep sadness, weeping over the tragic loss she had carried in her lineage. But after hours of crying and begging, she found strength to forgive the Ifedayo's family, and eventually she prayed for them so as to be able to release the innocent souls from their eternal anguish. As they prepared to part ways and return home, Ifedayo suddenly gasped in astonishment. An incredible sensation had emerged across her skin. To her disbelieving eyes, the grooved markings that had plagued her for so many years were gradually fading away, leaving her skin glowing and unblemished like a newborn's. "Mother! Father! Look!" Ifedayo cried in elated shock, throwing her arms around her parents as joyful tears streamed down their faces. The family's heavy burden had finally been lifted, their ancestors' transgressions were absolved, and Ifedayo's own spiritual renewal was complete. They returned to Nani's village, reborn with uplifting gratitude and optimism for their new lives.